I want a six-figure man. How do you become a six-figure man if you're not competitive? How do you have six-pack abs if you are not competitive? You're not just born with a six-pack ab-having body. You have to work at that. No six-figure job, low six, mid six, high six, none of those jobs come with not being competitive. Welcome back to the channel. We're continuing on with the continuation of the nonsense, and now we're moving on to men being overly competitive, as if it's just a problem, because, as they say, every challenger game to an extreme level can be exhausting and off-putting. The thing is, being competitive is imperative for men. We have to separate ourselves, and the only way we can separate ourselves in the eyes of not only ourselves, but in the eyes of females who we are competing for, is to always be on. Even when it comes to our children, we're still on. How do we instill competitiveness in our sons? How else do we do that if we don't have that same drive with our children that we have with everybody else, everywhere, regardless? I saw this and I was just like, hell yeah, it's like it's going down like that. Well, why can't you just let the kids win sometime? No, no, I would be stealing from them. Confusion. How am I stealing?
Let me explain.
Because at some point in time, young sir is going to get me. And when they do get me, it may be a year, it may be 2 years, it doesn't matter. But when they do get me, they're going to feel 10 times better than to come to find out, oh, well, you were taking it easy on me. They practice, they studied. Well, how come he keeps hitting his corners like this? How does he always get the boost at the right? All of that comes from observation. And if you just let them win, you're stealing from them. You're stealing the joy of saying, I finally got Dad. I finally got him. He been whooping me and whooping, and I finally got him. Why would I want to steal that joy from them? Yes, I'm going to compete just like Dale Earnhardt. I believe that's who that is. I'm going to compete just as hard in Mario Kart because I want them to relish and bask in the glory of finally whooping on me in the game. Never mind that there might be other games that they're completely dominating me with, but this game is going to feel a whole lot better because, oh yeah, I was beating Dad in X, Y, and Z, but Mario Kart, he's just been stomping a mud hole in me every time. No matter what I do, character I play, mods, cards, characters, whatever, whooping on me. But when it finally happens, it's going to be equivalent to the child of climbing Mount Everest. It's going to be the equivalent of hitting the game-winning shot in a Final Four or the NBA championships. The buzzer beater. That type of thrill and enjoyment will happen in something as simple as Mario Kart when they finally achieve the quote-unquote unachievable. Why would I want to steal that from them? Yes, competitiveness is a must, especially for sons.
I evolved off of fighting, you know what I mean? My man, who was one of the best around at the time. So it's like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? That's
competing, fighting, blow for blow with your mans. Your man's the one who you've seen over and over and over again. Seen their moves, know their tricks, everything. But to beat them in the ring or have them beat me in the ring and us both putting bullseyes on each other's backs, like, okay, he got me the last two, getting him this third sparring, whatever it is. You want to measure yourself against people who you are familiar with, not only strangers, but you want to measure yourself against those who you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses. Can you continue to take advantage of their weaknesses, or are they going to adjust? Now you have to find a new way to get at them in the sparring or even in a pro fight.
That's what's going to really make me feel like I'm a champion. That's what's going to really make me feel like I'm one of the best. If I'm beating the best. If I'm just fighting anybody, then it don't, you know what I mean? And the reason I'm cheering him on when he fighting at that time in the tournament, because I know you can beat these niggas. Don't do me like that. Give me what I want.
That's what he wants. You want to sharpen your steel against the person who you know is your biggest adversary in a competition. You want to be able to finally get him. Like, he keep catching me with this check body hook. I'm going to, whatever I got to do to get past that. Either eat it and counter or beat him to the punch. Whatever it is, you know your man's competition. Or as he's going to continue to explain.
He was doing the same thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because we from around the corner from each other. You got to understand. We used to play at the park together.
Was it awkward fighting him?
It was our families was there too.
It was because of the people. Because of the people. Because you know what's crazy? Me and him had already been in the ring with each other 50 times from sparring. But the fight,
it's different when you get under the lights and see sparring is one thing. It's different when you get in front of that crowd and you gotta perform, man.
Yeah, there's a difference when you kind of in the ring sparring or playing a game at home. You playing Street Fighter, whatever, or DOA, whatever. You playing with your men's and them online or even, in the same spot. Oh, this is, play, is bragging rights, so on and so forth. But when you competing in a competition with its cash on hand, it's completely different. But you relish in that. You look forward to that if you meet your mans in the final of whatever competition you're in. You relish that, and it's different. It's supposed to be different. It's supposed to kind of just sit you back like, oh, this is for real. This ain't just, shooting the shit in the at home or online. This is in front of a crowd of people. Can you perform? Can you do what you do when it's just the two of y'all just screwing around, shit talking and such? But can you perform the same when you got hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, whatever it is, watching your every move, critiquing you?
Yeah. Well, you got the neighborhood there, though. I mean, you got niggas from the neighborhood, like, they was talking about this. And guess what? He's one of the best promoters before, promoters really, because he made the fight. Because we from Germantown, so that motherfuckers had to come down to Kensington for the fight. That's unheard of for a novice class match. You know what I'm saying? We both of us under 10 fights.
That shit was
But he piped it up so bad. I'm coming out of school, motherfuckers like, yo, you about to fight John? He said, he's gonna fuck you up. I'm like, yo, this shit crazy. Like,
and you relish it and you laugh. They know they're about to get in the ring and put hands in gloves, sanctioned, gonna put hands on each other, and you like, the anticipation is just like level 11. Bump 10. It's 11. You just geek like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to show and prove. Or, hey, I want to try something new. Maybe what he's used to me doing, I'd got something that new to show. Show not only him, but show the crowd.
The times we come from, it wasn't like that. So I'm like, what?
You know what I mean? Came from, man.
Yeah.
Boxing is about for something totally different.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers picking their own sparring, telling their coach who they want to spar. I ain't know we been going to work. Yeah. Motherfuckers that was coming off doing 20 years, about to turn pro. Yeah. It didn't matter who it was. We was our coach said boxing, we was boxing. Yeah. It's boxing has evolved. I think that's a big part of Floyd Mayweather being his own boss, but that's Pretty Boy. They forget about Pretty Boy Floyd.
And I agree with what he was saying about, people the boxing has changed. That boxing has really changed to the point where it's way less enjoyable because I personally think they're getting paid too much. Just like in the NBA. Everything has decreased the amount of pushing and doing the hard shit because there's so much money. You know that, what they call it, a silk robe effect. Like, get so much money that they ain't really trying to worried about getting embarrassed. If you worried about getting embarrassed, you step up your game. If you worried about losing more than you are about being competitive, you are a weaker version of yourself.
Everybody focus on money making nothing. But boxing has evolved. They telling coaches who they going to box, who they going to spar today, what they going to do.
Everything on camera.
Everything on camera. Yeah. Sometimes this shit look like a joke to me.
Yeah. And he's it. Like I said, it has changed basketball. They argued over LeBron. Who is he better than Jordan? Stop. You know, now they're talking about with the boxing. Oh, I don't want to fight. They got boxers who box in the same gym talking about, I don't want to fight him. That's my brother. We never gonna get in the ring. You get in the ring. You get in the ring and do what you're supposed to do, which is compete at your highest level. If he knows all your tricks and you worried about losing and being embarrassed, get better. But we need to stop being so competitive. For what? We don't gain nothing by stepping back and saying, oh, well, I'm going to let my son win. For what? No strangers on the streets are going to let him win. He gets in a tournament playing Mario Kart, and I've been letting him win. And I'm ready to, start competing online. And he started getting whooped. Have I helped him or have I hindered him?
Punch where you going to end up hook off the jab because he kept falling to his right. You know what I mean? Things like that. I wanted him to shorten up the right hand. Things like that. He didn't throw too many crazy right hands, but he threw a few of them. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? I could see it. I just could see stuff like that. So.
All right, were you satisfied with the performance? This is your second fight with Jesse. 2 back-to-back knockouts.
I am satisfied. You know why? Dude, not no nut. I realized something. Jesse busted him in his head, and he looked at Jesse and shook his head like, no, like he's going to take more than that. So
he's talking about the fighter going up against the dude he's training. Impressed by what the other dude does that's fighting his fighter. That's competitiveness. That's like, yes, the dude I'm training is actually dealing with somebody who, he's going to have to do extra. He's not going to just lay down at this level, really doesn't help, if you're trying to get paid. But the fact that he's giving props to his fighter's competition, that comes from relishing and looking forward to competing. Don't shut that. You don't shut that down. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't help anybody, especially young men.
What that means to me as a fighter, some people would never understand. You could quit right then and there. You could just be like, I'm done. I ain't getting hit like that no more. Dude, like, no, like you gonna have to hurt me. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I gained a lot of respect for that guy. And when he kept fighting, and then after the second round, I said, Jesse, he getting mad, bro. He going to try to load some shit up. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful. You gotta be responsible in there. Don't just think he gonna let you dump on him. And he did. He got touched with a good shot, but that was the best shot of the fight for the guy. But I'm impressed only because I'm more impressed about the opponent. I'm glad that he didn't just come in and fold. You know what I mean? He swung. He was trying to really hit Jesse in his head. He tried to be tactical at times. He tried to get under Jesse's skin, but he wouldn't let him. So that's what I'm impressed with.
His name is Greg Hackett. He has a YouTube channel. I'm going to drop it up on the screen. Don't have it right now, but when we're talking about being competitive, I like this dude. He be talking that real stuff. And I like when he's on YSM Sports Media. I catch him more on that than his own channel. That's my bad. But he talks about being competitive in a way that rings true to most men who are competitive. They understand that. Stepping up to the plate against somebody who, their tricks. Who can out-trick when you know each other's tricks? Can you see somebody on the other side and say, yo, I like what he's doing. I'm going to really have to put in extra effort. That's competition. You need to be less. You don't. You cannot be competitive sometime. You competitive all the time, because when you fall off being competitive, you become a lesser version of yourself. Because when you need to be competitive, oh, I need to be competitive in a street fight, but because of the nagging and whining of, why are you being so hard on your son? He needs to let him win. No, don't let him win. When he wins, that's going to feel way better than coming to find out, oh, dad been BSing with me all this time. He been letting me win the foot races, knowing full well can't touch me. But eventually I'm going to break down. Over time, I'm going to break down and he's going to get me. My whole goal will be to not break down too soon. I may be panting and sucking wind after a foot race, but he's going to see, oh, well, he went all out. Not going to be running and running backwards and letting them beat me. No, you don't help boys by doing that. They're crazy trying to do this to them.
But same question. What's Errol going to find out about EJ on Saturday night?
And my skills are superior. Yeah, he's talented. You know, he got God-gifted abilities, but we talk about skill set. We talk about what my coach teach. And that's why he is a trainer year, because what he teach, you know, he don't have followers just talented. He teach fundamentals. He teach sound basics. And that's what he's going to find out, that I do have great defense. I do have great offense. I do have great stamina. I have all the above. I just don't have talent.
You know how humbling it is to admit that somebody has X, Y, and Z over you, but still say, I'm going to go up head to head. He lost the match. Doesn't matter. But to be able to, in public, speak highly of somebody else, knowing full well they have a skill set that you don't have, that's competitiveness. You recognize the greatness that somebody else has, but you say, I don't care. I'm going to step into the ring of life, what have you, and I'm going to compete at my highest abilities. I can't drive to the left. I don't have a jumper. I'm going to focus on something else. I'm going to shut him down defensively. I'm going to do whatever I got to do. But you don't just say, oh, well, back up. You don't have to be so competitive. No, competition is what gets men to, oh, I want a six-figure man. How do you become a six-figure man if you're not competitive? How do you have six-pack abs if you are not competitive? You're not just born with a six-pack ab-having body. You have to work at that. No six-figure job, low six, mid six, high six, none of those jobs come with not being competitive. These individuals are talking, but they don't know what they're talking about. They're just asking just because, oh, well, this will make things better for us. It does not make things better for you. It makes things worse for everybody. All parties concerned. It makes them way worse for everybody to say males, men, little boys should not be so competitive. You're not helping, you're hurting. Now, getting back to competitiveness. A healthy dose of competition is motivating and enjoyable. Taking every challenge or game to an extreme level can be exhausting and off-putting. Do you ever hear about this being exhausting and off-putting? Do you ever hear women en masse saying, sit down, you too old for this? This is off-putting. Seeing you conducting yourself like this is off-putting. Nobody says that. But aren't they competing for attention? From who? Any and everybody who will watch, find them? Aren't they competing? But this is not off-putting. Can we just talk about the clapping, you know, the thunderclap? Isn't that a loose behind? How do you go from, okay, why would it make sense for me to say, oh, I like an athletic build? Jackie Joyner Kersey, Simone Biles, any female athlete that is in leotards, running pants, whatever, track and field, high jump, whatever it is. How would I go from enjoying that to hearing blah, 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 and think that that is sexy? How do you go from an athletic build to, oh, that's enjoyable now? Isn't that just an abundance of fact? How does that thundering and clapping look when they're 70? I'm curious as to, is all this, oh, well, she got them thunderclaps and all that, flap, 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 flap. How much of that is wreaking havoc on their lower back? I have a sneaky suspicion that 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years from now, there's going to be a whole bunch of females who have got these BBLs and embracing this loose, cheap, heavy fat deposit behind. There's gonna be a whole bunch of women with bad backs. I'm waiting to somebody who's gonna be making it clap, and they're gonna throw their back out and possibly be paralyzed from the waist down, because some of that excess is going to hurt somebody. Because the only way you can get something like that is with the surgery or being lazy. I'm waiting. I am waiting. Now, who's talking about, oh, well, she needs to not be so competitive? Isn't she too over this? At what age do you stop competing? If you want fathers to not be so competitive with their sons and playing video games, or sons and daughters, whatever, playing video games, what age do you want females to stop competing? Because it doesn't seem to be a problem with women out here, like, look, just all out, just not acting their age in any way, shape, or form. But for the males, the fathers, don't be so competitive. But it's okay for grandmas and great grandmas, even though there's some great grandmas in their 50s. Odd. But now look at this. I'm gonna have to blur it out because it's just straight out. The thong and all of that mass. Walking down the street with her daughter. Isn't she competing? Isn't she competing for attention? Nobody says, oh, well, this is off-putting. She needs to calm it down. No. Never mind the destruction that she's doing to that little girl, because she sees mama doing, she's going to do. And then mama's gonna be like, I can't believe you do that. Why you act like I didn't raise you like that? Anyway, compete, men, stop ASAP. Women, no matter how old you are, no matter the circumstances, no matter who is around you, do you. Get it, girl. But for fathers, instilling competitiveness in their sons, problem. That's rich. The double standards are when men compete as opposed to women compete is just like mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Don't be so competitive. You're sucking the fun out of it. at least when we do it, it's to help create those 6-figure men. We do it is to create those men who want to compete in violence. Don't you want to be protected? How do you protect if you are not competitive? Anyway, that's all I got. I hope this is enjoyable. I'm almost done, and I got to move on to bigger and better things. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.